Okay, the title of this video is All Viruses Are a Hoax. And this is the second clue that I'm giving to you. And what I'm going to do is take you to this Latin dictionary. So hold on while I adjust the camera so you can see a little better. Okay, you can see it's a Latin dictionary, and I've typed in the word virus. So we're going to look at the origin of the word that's being used so commonly right now. And to do that, we have to go to Latin. Many words are derived from Latin, and they come right into the English language. By the way, you can do this yourself. You don't necessarily need me, but I'm glad to show you things, and I hope it's helpful to you. Okay, now prior to the start of the 20th century, let's just say in the 1700s and the 1800s, if you said the word virus in conversation with anyone, the only thing they would be thinking of is, first of all, the bite of a snake, the poison secretion that comes out of a snake, the venom. Now that would probably be the #1 usage. However, it could probably be used for any other creature that had a poison. Or plants, okay? So the whole idea is poison. Now there is absolutely nothing in their minds about something that is invisible and something that is submicroscopic. All right? So along comes a gentleman, and I'll talk about him in another video, and he begins to tell everybody there's something you can't see with your eye that's even tinier than what you can see with the microscope, and it has done a lot of damage to these tobacco plants. So he decides to get a name for it and call it virus. The virus then translates into these invisible things that are attacking human beings. And he invents what's called virology. Now prior to this, none of this concept of virus getting into people and causing sickness didn't exist. What existed was the bite of a serpent. So stop and think about this for just a minute. The bite of a serpent and poison? Witchcraft has been performed. Now it ties into history as well, and I'm going to have to get that to you in another video, because there's a small group out there of very powerful people that want to change the entire nature of medicine as it was practiced here in America. Not only did they want to change it, they wanted to corner the market. So what's one way to do that? Well, you invent things. You create them. You come up with things. So he came up with the idea that these invisible creatures attack the human body and cause sickness. Now, prior to his claiming this, no one thought such a thing at all in terms of a living thing getting into your body other than like parasites. So it's sort of a form of a parasite, but completely invisible not only to the human eye, but to the microscope itself. And that's where another deception comes in. Who sees these viruses? Who tells you what they look like? Who tells you all about them? Who develops this field called virology? And then more and more and more pseudoscience is added to this whole concept. So let's take a look at another feature of the Latin, and that is the declensions. Okay, we have to click on this. View the declensions. Okay, now this is going to tell you how to use that Latin word in the context of writing and speaking, particularly writing. That it has a case, and as a lot of languages, it has nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and vocative at the end, okay? So let's take a look at one thing here that is extremely important. Notice that it is declined, meaning it goes through the cases, nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, vocative, in the singular. Now look over at the plural. It is not declined because a plural does not exist in the Latin language. In other words, if you're bitten by a snake, you get a virus or a secretion. Singular. There is no plural in the Latin. So what this gentleman did was he developed the concept of virus and he pluralized it. So now there's just not one virus, there are thousands of them. And you'd have to look that up for yourself as to what the hoaxsters are saying. I think it's about 4,000. So that means at any one moment, you can take any one of these hoax viruses and you can turn it into a monster, single-handedly, by means of the media. It's created. The media has the power to create it. It doesn't physically exist, but they create it. Where? In your mind. So I'm trying to show you that if you can claim something and you name it, you're the owner. And that's the basis in the Bible of name changes. Name changes are given for significant reasons. And the naming of the animals on the earth by Adam is significant because God was saying, you're in charge over them. You get to name them. So this gentleman, and I'll get into him later and we'll talk all about it, he makes a phony discovery, he names it, and he promotes it. Now what's going to happen later is medicine in its entirety is going to change. Major, major change. Now it will adopt pseudoscience. It will adopt pseudoscience, which means the name of the game is get the customer. The name of the game is keep them coming. And if you can talk about viruses, plural, of which there's no plural in the Latin, then fine. That's great. Because now you can keep them coming. And you can keep them under mysterious things that cannot be explained to anybody. Why? Because they don't exist. All right, so now that shows you the Latin origin of the word virus. So let's go to an English modern, like if you're in high school and you're going to look up virus and you go to this dictionary, vocabulary.com, this is what you'll come up with. An infectious agent that replicates itself within living hosts. All nonsense. Complete nonsense. But you'll believe it because it's in vocabulary.com and you've heard the word virus used over and over again since you grew up. And whenever I was sick, no matter who it was, whether it was family or neighbors or friends, they'll say, oh, you have a virus. Okay? The whole world around you will diagnose you. Because you vomited and you got a fever and you can't eat and you're weak. Oh, you got a virus. You don't need to go to the doctor. Your friends will tell you. Your neighbors will tell you. Anyone. Ask a stranger on the street. Well, what is the virus? I don't know. What should I do for the virus? Well, stay at home, get some rest, and have some chicken noodle soup. In other words, you just let the body take care of it. Now, the phony pseudosciences offer a phony pseudo-resolution. The pseudo-resolution or false resolution is get a shot. And over and over and over again on all these presentations about viruses and good health, they tell you, get your flu shot every year. Why? Because the virus strains are different this year. Oh, they're different this year. Why? Well, there's just thousands of them out there. And oh, did you know viruses can mutate? Well, yeah, they can mutate. See my video on how viruses mutate. In other words, there's magic going on. There's alchemy, ancient alchemy, changing something. Where is it changed? It is changed in your mind. It doesn't exist. But in your mind, you think it exists, so you better get your flu shot this year. And you get more toxins in your body. They'll inject toxins. Now, if you weren't sick before, trust me, you'll probably get sick after you get the shot. So that's what you're up against. You're up against a change that occurred just about the time that Darwin was giving out his book and his nonsense, and also approximately right at this time, the world's going to discover dinosaurs. Oh, how about that? Researchers and scientists are going to supposedly dig up these big bones of creatures that roamed the earth called dinosaurs. So virus and viruses fit in with the same time period that dinosaurs come in. Fake science with fake things called viruses. Thank you for watching. End of video.